Mike here. So here we are, it's midnight. This would be Wednesday morning. This is the Mark IV shit pile, otherwise known as a large insulated aerated static pile. This is made of mostly horse shit. I did do an initial video of the construction of this. It's essentially done, other than some tweaking to the ventilation system, potential heat recovery. You're looking at this thing in the infrared range. Sorry for the Fahrenheit for those of you that use a sensible measuring system, but this is what I use. This pile was begun a few days ago and then added to over the course of 2 or 3 days. But today I finished it off, and it was 150 some degrees in the core when I left for work today. About 11 hours ago. When I got home here, I approached the pile. These are cardboard panels. They're 8-ply. And right here, there's a whole gap between different panels. You can see the bright spot there. It shows up a little bit hotter. I shoved my 36-inch compost thermometer in there, and before I plunged it down into the core, I took a temperature just inside the horizon here, and I came up with 152 degrees, which is pretty wild that it gets that hot, that close to the edge. But I will attest that earlier today, I reached my hand up because we do have plastic. You can't really see. Yeah, you can see there. So we have 6 mil plastic lining the inside of this thing. And I stuck my hand between the cardboard and that, and it was so hot I couldn't hold my hand in place. So here in a few minutes, this sucker, the fan's gonna kick on, and I just wanna see what it looks like. You can definitely see some of the brighter spots there. Those are places where there's creases between the different panels. And then the very, very bright spots are gaps. And we have 36-inch high panels sitting under 18-inch high panels. So yeah, that's how you see the really bright spots. And we have a nice heavy tarp covering the whole thing. There's some high temps. Some of the highest temps on the back side here. I saw 140 at one point. There's that hole right there, that hot spot. Actually, if I touch that, I realize there's actually cardboard there in that spot, but there's a big hole in the corrugation. There used to be these held canola oil, so presumably there was some kind of bladder. And there's a hole in the corrugation, but that particular hole right there is covered by one layer of very thin cardboard, so that's why the heat shows through. This pile, I have to continue here. The temperature just inside there, like I said, was like 152. So I thought, well, God, if it's that warm right inside, then how warm's the core going to be? And I think the temperature I measured was 162 or 164. So 10 or 12 degrees difference between the core and the very, very edge, which is incredible. You wouldn't see anything like that with the old pile. That's the Mark III. And although it's still cooking very well after 3 weeks, and it's in the 150 degree range in the core, the outer regions there probably haven't reached 130 degrees. I can't see how they ever would have for an extended period of time. So that's not going to be sterilized on the outside very well. The leftovers you can very easily see over there. That's what didn't fit in the Mark IV. That's just a pile with a tarp over it. So that I'll just turn periodically with the Kubota. Speaking of the Kubota, check that out. Look at the tires. See the bright spot? See how it looks level? It's because there's liquid ballast in there. Liquid ballast is a few degrees warmer than the rest of the rubber. It's got thermal mass, and it shows. Isn't that neat? I just discovered that. Oh, here comes the fan. So it will definitely steam up. I don't know if that'll be visible, but I bet the tarp and everything warms up. Does kind of look like there's little fingers extending down from the bright spots. I should say so. That's presumably that warm, moist air, probably condensing against the tarp, but then there's definitely a lot of moisture that condenses and runs down. Oh yeah, definitely a difference there. It's cautious to move the camera around too much because it will readjust the color range, but I'm going to want to explore a little bit because that fan's only going to run for about 3 minutes. I do want to turn that up because I am worried about the overheating of the pile. Just getting a little bit too warm. Good stuff. It's good stuff. You can't see it in the video, but I can see in the light of the flashlight a lot of steam rolling out from under there, so it's pretty cool. I'd like to capture some of that. Maybe not on this pile. It's an experimental pile, but oh yeah, it's nice heat coming off of that. Wish it would pick up steam. It's got a little bit of a funk to it. Doesn't stink, but it's got a funk. I don't really know what the surface temperature is like directly under the tarp, but I assume it's not a sterilization. I did cover everything with a bit of somewhat composted material, some wood chip, pine needles and stuff. Act as a bit of an insulative layer, but the very top of it doesn't sterilize. It's not the worst thing in the world. But I do want to eventually circulate air back through, maybe draw it negatively off the bottom. This thing is 100 feet of drainage tile on the bottom. I'm currently blowing air into it very easily. It's very low static pressure. I'd like to draw that air out, pass it across the heat exchanger, condense some of that water vapor, get some of that heat from the latent heat of vaporization, condensation, and then pass that air back across the top, returning some of that heat and some of the moisture. So I'm going to shut this off before it freezes because this thing tends to do that a lot. Just thought I'd share. There's my truck over there. Just got home. Brick building up above my house. See the brick or the stone down there? See the woods? That auto adjust kind of gets on my nerves. That's actually a pile. There's a little bit of horse shit in there. Cat shit. That's mostly the cat shit pile. So I don't use that for gardening or anything else. That's just for kind of breaking that stuff down. You know, it's nasty stuff, cat shit. But dilution is the solution to pollution, right? Just some stones and block over there. Again, the leftover poop pile. The Mark III pile. That's an aerated pile. It's got PVC pipe running down the middle of it. I don't have a blower on it right now because I robbed it for the Mark IV. You know, the baby gets the attention. But I do have another blower and another timer coming. So, yeah, just to finish up, a couple of days here. We're into the 150, 160 degree range throughout the pile. And I was running at 4 minutes an hour, and then 2 minutes every 30 minutes. And today, half of today, it's been 3 minutes every 30 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and up it to like 5 every 30 minutes just to see what it does at least until I get through this initial period. it cools down a little bit. Thanks for watching.